Hey, Joe, what do you got for us tonight?
Well, tonight's episode is genuinely one of the strangest cases I've ever seen. It's a story involving the Mormon Church, a young missionary kidnapped and kept as a sex slave, a beauty queen turned call girl, a woman who claims she became pregnant while still being a virgin, a couple fleeing the country dressed as nuns, Keith Moon from The Who, a genetically cloned pit bull, and the unprosecuted hit-and-run death of a 91-year-old Holocaust survivor. And I did not make any of that up. And who is at the center of this crazy, convoluted mess of a story? A gal named Joyce McKinney.
Quiet your mind. Ever since the earth has circled the sun, there have been fantastic tales of wonder and mystery that the faint of heart dare not discuss. But 3 brave, uninformed souls have the brass to tackle every extraordinary happenstance, from the modern age to the dawn of Mantis.
Welcome back to Dawn of Mantis, True Crime, Mysteries, and More, episode 360. I don't say that. I should say that every time. Why don't I say that?
Why don't you say that?
I'll do that from now on. Remind me, or I'll forget. Hey, Joe, you got a lot of explaining to do after that intro, man.
It sounds like a 2025 year-end review.
That's right. It really does. All that in one case. You know, we do these things called smash and grabs where it's all different cases. That's got everything that a smash and grab has in one case.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh, we must be doing a smash and grab tonight.
We'll call this something for everyone.
Yeah, it was. I wish folks could have seen, as I was reading the opener there, I saw in my peripheral Sam and Ivan just looking at each other like, is he pranking us?
Yeah,
is
we doing a smash and grab?
What is happening?
April Fools. No, wait, it's not April. Yeah, it's a lot to digest, but I guess that's why we're here.
Yeah, every once in a while, the universe just hands you just a present like this. This case, the more I read into it, I was just like, thank you, podcast gods. This is incredible.
Well, it sounds like a great one.
You ready to get into it?
Let's hit it.
There's a lot to cover.
Oh, yeah. I'm ready, I guess.
Real quick. I will ask this of our listeners. If you could go on to arkansasmusic.org and put my name, Sam Duncan, in as Sound Engineer of the Year for the Arkansas Country Music Awards, I would greatly appreciate that. It takes about, 3 minutes to maybe do that?
No, less than that.
You can leave everybody else blank on there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know a guitarist or anyone,
if you're in Arkansas and you know a country guitar player, they have to live in Arkansas, be from Arkansas, put their name on there: bass, guitar, fiddle player, drummer,
vocalist.
And if you know, songwriters, any of that has to do with country music, put their name in there. Entertainer of the Year. It has all the categories.
Sure.
But I would greatly appreciate if you go put my name in, get me on the ballot to be able to win this thing for a sound engineer.
Yeah, he makes us sound great every week.
Yeah, and he makes, golly, you've made so many people sound great, and like from comedians and all the bands and everything.
Yeah.
Like nationwide people.
For sure, yeah. I was just going to say, this is just a tiny part of it. I mean, he does so much more. He definitely deserves it.
Yeah, and to clear up any confusion, go on there and you're going to go to submissions. And if you click vote, it'll just take you back. Click submissions. And then you'll have to scroll down a little ways, but you will find record. What is it? Sound engineer.
Sound engineer.
And just put in, when I did it, I put in Sam Duncan / Redbeard Sound just to be safe.
Yeah.
And then the only other 2 fields that you must fill out is your first and last name and your email.
Yep.
And then you can submit it. Yeah.
That's how they know you're legit.
Mm-hmm. You're legit.
Do it. Yeah.
All right.
It's amazing.
I've done it several times. No, you can only vote once, I think.
That's what I think so, too.
Yeah, but to be honest, I have a personal email and a work email.
Oh, okay.
And then I know my wife's email. I didn't even ask her. I'm just, you're voting. And I did hers, too.
I appreciate that.
All right. So Joyce Vernon McKinney was born on August 6, 1949 in Avery County, North Carolina. Raised in a small community in the Appalachian Mountains, Joyce, from a very young age, seemed to be consumed by 2 things, very opposing things: religion and celebrity.
I could have almost guessed you would go Appalachia.
Really?
Yeah, this is a crazy case. And that's a crazy area.
So with these 2 things that are obviously at odds, this began a complicated dichotomy that would draw the blueprint for the strange events to come. Much of Joyce's childhood was unremarkable, but we do know that as she entered her teenage years, she became interested in beauty pageants. She entered many of the following years and had moderate success, and she was able to grab the Miss Wyoming World title in 1973 when she was 24 years old.
I'm no expert in maps, but Wyoming's kind of a long way from. She moved out west. I guess that's how pageants work. You like travel to go.
I think there's a circuit, right? I don't know.
A circuit, probably, yeah. Just like anything.
Well, and this is funny. Speaking of Wyoming, I thought about this. Wyoming is America's second least populated state. At least it was at the time.
Okay.
It just had 332,000 people. So I like math. Here's what I figure. I figure, roughly half the population usually is female. So that's about 166,000 people. And if you figure only a fraction of women who ever enter beauty pageants, which is true, that means, in my estimation, Joyce had to beat out about 4 other girls to win that title.
Okay. Well, hey, I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at.
No. Okay.
A winner's a winner, right?
Joyce is a Wyoming 8, is what we'll call her. So here's the deal. Joyce was on the precipice of fame, but it would not be for winning beauty pageants. No, Joyce would soon do something so taboo and scandalous that she'd go down in history not as a beauty queen, but as a tabloid starlet.
Uh-oh, what'd she do?
Oh, what did she not do is more like it. Serious. Like, you heard the opening of this podcast.
That's true.
My God, man.
That's true, but it had so much, I already forgot most of it.
Well,
so it's going to be another surprise when you bring this up, but go ahead.
It all began the same year Joyce won that title, 1973. That's when she also converted to Mormonism and moved to Provo in Utah to study at the church's Brigham Young University. Yes, BYU. Now, in the early 1970s, one of the most well-known musical acts was the Osmond Brothers. They'd gained fame on the Andy Williams Show in the early 60s, and by our time in this story, they were household names. Now, here's something I stumbled upon in this research I had no clue about. Did you guys know the Osmond family were devout Mormons?
Yes.
I did know something about that.
Well, hell.
But I didn't know, I didn't know the Osmonds did anything before they were the Osmonds. I thought it was Marie and the boys. I didn't really know about the Osmond boys. I didn't know about the Osmond brothers. Yeah. I mean, I knew they were there, but I didn't know they did something first.
They weren't even going by the Osmonds, I don't think. Like when they first started, like on the Andy Williams Show in the early 60s, they had some other name and they were all very young. Okay. But yeah, they'd been doing things forever, since a very young age.
It was an era for some family to be like, hey, let's go entertain.
It definitely was.
Yeah. I mean, the Jacksons, the Osmonds, the Partridge family.
Yeah, even the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, for sure. There's something about that now.
Huh. I think these days, like if someone tried that, it would not go over.
Well, I don't know. You got the Jonas Brothers and Hanson and all them, but just not to the caliber of what it was.
Yeah, true.
Like 8 of them up there.
Yeah, the whole family. So here's the deal in our story. Joyce McKinney, for whatever reason, she decides she wants to be a Mormon. And it just so happens that the Osmonds, you all knew, I had no idea, they were devout Mormons and they were like the pride of the Mormon community, because they were huge. They were massive at that time. The Osmonds may have been beloved by America at that point, but to the Mormon church, they were the golden children. They were to the LDS church like what Tom Cruise is to Scientology. Okay. You can never leave, or we'll show them the videotapes, Tom. With the Osmonds, we get our first glimpse of Joyce's obsessive personality. She kind of reminds me of Bonnie Lee Bakley. Remember her? And her tireless efforts to win the affections of several famous men like Christian Brando and Robert Blake. With Joyce, it was the Osmond brothers, particularly Wayne. Joyce managed to weasel her way into the group and was on the brink of actually beginning a relationship with Wayne Osmond. However, the boy's mother, Olive, sensed something unnerving about Joyce and made sure the ambitious young former beauty queen was effectively pushed out of their circle. Well, Olive Osmond's instincts, that was hard to say, proved to be dead on. We're going to see that later. But in my opinion, her efforts to keep Joyce away from her sons, it ultimately wasn't needed because Joyce was about to meet a guy who would completely consume every ounce of her attention for the foreseeable future. His name was Kirk Anderson, and he was a fellow student at BYU. According to Joyce's own words, the moment their eyes met, she instantly fell in love with Kirk. Now, no one quite understands why. And I'm sorry, Kirk, if you're listening, he is still alive. Kirk was a pudgy, awkward, unremarkable boy who was just 19, 6 years younger than Joyce. The one thing he had going for him was he was 6'2". But let's be honest, if you're batshit crazy like Joyce, there's probably no rhyme or reason as to why you become infatuated with somebody.
Probably had some charisma, I would imagine, right?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe he did. He was tall. I don't know. That's one thing that, other than that, no one knows why. There are two sides of the story concerning virtually every aspect of the story from here on out. Joyce's version and Kirk's version. I'm going to go with Kirk because he's not f***ing crazy. I really need
one episode in this year and we've got an edit.
I'm just really trying to emphasize
drive it home, huh?
Yes, how crazy she is.
And fastest noted.
According to Joyce, she and Kirk began dating the same day they met, and he also proposed to her that first day. She also claims from that day forward they spent nearly every waking moment together, and she and Kirk even moved in together within a few days. Joyce goes on to claim that although the couple lived together and slept together and were together constantly, they did not have sex. Instead, they had what she called petting sessions. Basically, these sessions were doing everything but having actual intercourse. And here is where it gets really weird. A few weeks into their relationship, Joyce claimed that even though she was still a virgin and had, never had sex, she'd only had these heavy petting sessions with Kirk, she had become pregnant.
How's that work?
Immaculate conception.
Hey, Ivan, you're our science department. How does that work?
That would have to be a broad definition of petting. Like, that would have to include several things that I didn't originally include in that. That's the only way that could be true. Yeah.
We're being scientific. I think his penis petted the inside of her.
I tell you, from now on, when I'm walking my dog around town and someone's like, "Can I pet your dog?" I'll be like, "No, you cannot." No one's ever petting my dog. I just found out that word means a lot more. Do not even look at her. Or him. Sorry, him. Don't look at him. Got me confused now.
Let's let Joyce kind of explain this in her own crazy words.
Yeah, that'd be much easier.
Yeah.
It was really hard to keep things under control because we loved each other, and we did some petting. In fact, one of the crazy things that happened is I got pregnant while Kirk and I were petting, which I realize now that is possible, but I was very naive about sex then. And when I went in to have the pregnancy test and found out I was pregnant, the doctor said I was technically still a virgin, I was technically still a virgin. And I said, well, we were trying to wait. I can't be pregnant, And it was really crazy because right after that was when Kirk disappeared.
She mentions crazy thing like you go to the store and you buy green beans and you thought they were, $3 a can or 3 for $2 and you ended up getting a better deal. It's a crazy thing.
That's crazy.
They were cheaper than I thought they were going to be. Like she's using that, just like a nonchalant term for
crazy.
Something that's impossible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I believe her. She explained it clearly. I don't know what clip you heard. What I heard was her explaining it clearly. After that, I was like,
Mormon's advocate over here.
Yeah. We made out and then she got pregnant. I don't know what happened. I didn't even take off my Levi's. It doesn't make sense. So let's hear Kirk's side. It's quite different.
Okay.
Kirk's version of the story was, yes, they dated. No, they did not live together. And there's no way she was pregnant with his child, petting or non-petting.
Oh, so it's like a Maury Povich thing. You were not the father.
You're not the father.
Or he thinks he's not the father. Is he the father?
A baby was never born, I'll say that.
Oh, okay. I'm skipping way too far ahead.
A child was never reared by Joyce.
Okay.
What is for sure is that, like we just heard in the clip, the Mormon church, the university, and Kirk's parents still disapproved of the relationship and decided it was time to send Kirk on a mission far, far away.
You're on a mission from God.
That wasn't a radical move, by the way. Every young Mormon is required to go on a 2-year mission trip anyway. And at age 19, Kirk's turn was coming up. Although Joyce made it sound like he was immediately snatched up and sent away, young Mormon missionaries must attend a month-long missionary training course before their mission. So it was like, at least a month to 6 weeks before Kirk left. During that time, Kirk was urged not to have contact with Joyce. He's like, no problem. At this point, Kirk was probably experiencing a real conundrum. He was fully dedicated to his faith, which absolutely forbade any sexual contact outside of marriage. Also, by that time, he was becoming aware of just how crazy Joyce was. However, Kirk was also a 19-year-old boy and thus was burdened with all the hormones and horniness that come along with being a 19-year-old boy. And here's Joyce, a relatively attractive older woman who is constantly trying to have petting sessions with him. I'm sure he struggled a lot between his lust and his faith, a struggle I'm sure most young Mormon men have to face.
I just realized I can go a long time without hearing the word petting session. Like you've said it a few times, and you say it as many times as you need to on this episode because we got work to do. But it's just like I wish I could get a hold of the person that named it first. Be like, do you realize how stupid? But I mean, I guess, I don't know. It is what it is. It has to have a name. Maybe I'm being too harsh.
Petting sessions.
I know. Yeah. It's like, I want to say sorry to my dog that I ever said, come over here, let me pet you.
Well, I once had this, speaking of Kirk's conundrum, he knows he knows she's no good, but he also knows, he's just,
well, yeah.
The flesh, it's the flesh. An old man once told me, he said, my has led me places I wouldn't go with a gun. So, and that's kind of just what this reminds me of. What we know for certain is that once he went into mission training, Kirk did cut off all contact with Joyce. This is when Joyce claims the stress of losing Kirk caused her to miscarry that fictitious baby, right?
Okay, I see. This whole time I thought the baby was born.
Oh, no. No, it never even got to the second trimester.
Or maybe never existed. Let's go out on a limb here.
Well, anyways, I'm not sure where the missionary training took place, but I found one account that said Kirk spent time in Oregon and then California before being sent to his mission in Surrey, England.
Okay.
Across the pond.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Joyce was furious with the Mormon church for separating her from Kirk and denounced her faith.
You're kidding.
But she wasn't done yet. Joyce hired a private investigator named Keith May to track Kirk down. It seems by this time she had relocated to California because that's the last place she knew Kirk to be. Well, California's nothing, okay? Because when Keith discovered that Kirk was in England, she bought tickets and flew to England. She left the U.S. and she flew to England in search of her man, okay?
Wow.
On September 14th, 1977, Joyce and Keith parked outside the LDS church in Ewell, I believe, a few miles south of London. Again, there are two very different versions of the story. According to Kirk, when he came walking out of the church, Keith ambushed him, stuck a gun in his ribs, which later turned out to be fake, and the gun, not his ribs, and forced him into the back of a car where Joyce was waiting in the back seat. Hello, lover boy.
What a shady PI.
Right.
I mean, I thought you just said that he was going to find him. And when you find him, I want you to hold him at gunpoint and get him to me. It's that's way beyond private investigating.
I think Joyce was good at manipulating people, and there's some gals out there that can just hold a spell over a guy, man.
Or she just paid him a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have been shady to begin with, right? I mean, if he was willing to do that.
He's getting a trip to England.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, can we go see Big Ben? Why did I make him British? He's not British. Can we go see Big Ben? Yeah. There we go.
I like how you just retracted it.
Live air editing. Well, here's the deal. They got Kirk in the back of the car, and that's when Keith placed a chloroform-soaked rag over his face, and he passed out.
What a private investigator. My services include kidnapping someone at gunpoint, chloroform, but it's got to remain private because I'm a private investigator.
When Kirk woke up, he was chained to a bed in a small cottage located somewhere in the remote English countryside. Joyce would then have sex with him multiple times every day for the next several days.
Is this according to her?
This is according to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering where the source.
Yes, yeah, this is Keith's side.
I'm telling you, not a bad kidnapping so far.
I'll go on record and say, horrible kidnapping. Kidnapping's advocate.
So it seems that this constant sex, the goal was to become pregnant again. But after 3 days of being a literal chained up sex slave, Kirk was left alone in the cottage long enough to figure out how to free himself, and he fled to the nearest town to report what had happened to the police.
That totally went opposite. I thought it was going to be like a scene from Something About Mary, where he's like, oh, you're in town. Wow, what a coincidence. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Oh, no. So that was Kirk's version of events, okay? Here's Joyce's. A little bit different. She claimed that he'd gone with her willingly. They just rolled up and he was like, "Hey, Joyce, long time no see." So he willingly went to her, willingly went to the cottage, willingly had constant sex with her for days and days. And he had only left because he was struggling with his faith and his conscience. Here's Joyce telling her own side of the story.
I just threw my arms around him. I was so happy to see him. It'd been so long. He says, "How long have you been in England?" And we went down to this little cottage down in the English countryside.
So he got in the car.
Oh, sure, he got in the car.
Well.
Oh, I've read stories in the newspaper saying that.
You didn't kidnap him at gunpoint?
No, I've read stories saying that I kidnapped him at gunpoint. I've read stories saying that I chloroformed him and dragged him kicking and struggling down the road. All of a sudden, it was like it dawned on him, and he goes, "I'm a Mormon missionary." And he goes, "They're never going to understand how much we love each other. They'll never understand." And he got up, and I go, "Kirk, honey, what's the matter? What can I do?" And I reached up to hold him. When I did, he picked me up, and he threw me on the bed. I mean, he's a big guy. "Why did you let me make love to you? Why?" He goes, "Do you know what's going to happen when I get back? Do you understand?" And I was so confused. I thought, I've tried so hard to make everything nice. I've gone through all these crazy games with him. I tried so hard, and I didn't know what I did wrong.
Speaking of that, I tried so hard to believe her, but then I just had this thought, like, you show up unannounced in England.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of shows me you're crazy. I mean, you get a private investigator. So if you did, and the guy still cared for you, wouldn't you make a call? "Hey, I found you. Let's hang out again."
Yeah.
But instead, she found him and then she showed up.
Well,
That kind of shows craziness. Sorry, Ben Stiller and Something About Mary.
I was going to
But
say,
it kind of does.
every romantic movie, that's what the guy or gal does. Oh, they're about to leave on the airplane, so they like fly somewhere, drive, and, don't go. But the difference between that is a gesture like that, if you like the person, it's romantic. If you don't like the person, it's stalking. There's a fine line there.
Yeah.
Very fine line.
It's too, people are like, "Oh, I wish you were spontaneous." No, they don't really. They don't really want that. I don't. I want predictable things. But yeah, that's, I just don't believe her. It's too overbearing. It's too like, "Hello, I'm here," and the gunpoint thing's probably what happened.
I really believe that. I mean, she's crazy, right? She sounds crazy. You guys didn't see, look up the video. You can find the interview, but it's on YouTube. But if you want to watch it, the interviewer that she's talking to is very, I think, obvious that he's like, this gal is batshit.
Yeah, he's shaking his head at one
Yeah,
point.
he's shaking his head and like his expressions, and yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Joyce did admit that she had chained Kirk to the bed, but she claimed restraining him was a way to circumvent his guilt over having sex. In other words, being tied up freed him from any responsibility for the act, and she claimed it was the only way he could orgasm, was tied up like that.
Being tied up freed him.
Yeah, it's like, oh, looks like I can't do anything now.
Oh, so that neighbor I used to have that chained their dog up, that dog was really free. I always thought it was a crappy thing to do to a dog. I always thought you shouldn't have a dog if you chain them up like that, but I didn't realize it was free.
And freed him from any guilt and responsibility.
Yeah,
over
guilt
sex.
of running around and enjoying life.
Don't tie up your dogs. It's awful.
Chain's even worse.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
Chain. No, I'm sorry.
Well, Kirk, as he has throughout this whole story, saw things very differently. And although more than a few of the officers Kirk told his story to did chuckle, and it's like, come on. I mean, that's just going to happen.
It's just going to happen.
Poor kid. God, wow, you got chained up and had sex with for days? Poor kid. But anyway, yeah. They did take swift action to locate and arrest both Joyce McKinney and Keith May. They had Kirk contact Joyce and ask him to meet with her. She agreed, obviously. And when she and Keith May met up with Kirk on September 19th, police emerged and arrested the pair on charges of kidnapping and indecent assault.
Sting operation, sure.
Yeah. It was a sting operation, so it was, "There's a little black spot on the sun today." It's like, why are we playing this? It's a sting operation. I
wonder
you
if he's
misunderstood.
ever in getting a gallbladder taken out or whatever, if Sting's in the operating. This is a sting operation. I'm sorry.
It's the same old thing as yesterday. Well, after giving her own rosy version of the events you just heard, Joyce flatly denied all of Kirk's claims and stated that it was physically impossible. And let's have a discussion about this. Okay. It's physically impossible, she said, to sexually assault a male because in her words, it would be, quote, like trying to put a marshmallow in a parking meter.
Yeah, I'm not commenting on that. I'll just say that Yeah, I don't want to comment on that. I was about to say I don't want to comment on, then I was about to comment on it. You guys discuss.
Nothing.
Okay, I'll be the one to say it. It is possible, I think, for especially a young virile male, even if he is not wanting to participate, even if he has no attraction whatsoever to the person. Listen, just to put it in good old country boy speak, if certain things are fiddled with, something's going to happen. Sometimes.
Yeah, okay, that's a perfect way of putting it.
Let's just leave it at that.
I said I wasn't a comment, but I will.
Okay.
It's still wrong.
Of course.
Obviously. Yeah. And it's me being that guy again, that super safe guy.
Yeah. No, you need to be like the self-righteous, like the virtue signaling. Well, I believe that's wrong. Oh, well, good for you.
I'm not being that guy, but I'm talking to that whiny little turd out there. How about that?
Yes. But yeah, the male body will physically respond to just automatically in some ways sometimes. I'll just say that. You know, whether or not the brain is on board, or the soul, or the heart.
Sure.
The organ down there doesn't care about any of those other things. He's like, no, we're doing this. Woo! Right? That happens sometimes. Okay. Although it's rare, men can totally be the victims of sexual assault. Statistics show that 1 out of every 71 men have experienced attempted or completed rape by a female. 1 in 70. I thought that'd be like 1 out of every 77 billion.
That seems within the realm of what I wouldn't have guessed that.
Like 1 out of every 71. That just seems like a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what I have to say about that.
So it's
Nothing,
like,
probably.
Let's say you have like 1,000 Facebook friends. That means like what? 10 or 20 of them have been sexually assaulted by a female of the males, you know? I don't think I know anybody that's ever been sexually assaulted by a female.
You wouldn't think you would.
No. I don't know. I don't know nothing about nothing, though. I just read a statistic, okay?
Yeah.
While Joyce and Keith were in prison awaiting trial, their story exploded throughout the country. It was certainly a good story. A young church boy kidnapped by a former beauty queen and made her unwilling sex slave. It had every salacious component a sleazy tabloid could ask for. The Daily Mirror and The Sun leapt at the story, and Joyce McKinney filled their front pages for weeks. Seeing the gathering crowd of reporters outside the jail, Joyce began holding handwritten signs up against the windows that read, "Kirk went with me willingly."
I think she was eating this whole thing up anyway.
Oh, yeah, she was. Then the pre-trial began, and the tabloids were gifted an endless amount of crazy talk from Joyce, as well as more details of the couple's bizarre encounters. Kirk stated that Joyce had, quote, grabbed my pajamas from just around my neck and tore them from my body. The chains were tight, and I could not move. She proceeded to have intercourse. I did not want it to happen. I was very upset, end quote. Joyce, on the other hand, testified, quote, Kirk was raised by a very dominant mother. He has a lot of guilt about sex because his mother has overprotected him all his life. He has to be tied up to have an orgasm. I loved Kirk so much that I can't say that.
Out of all the things you do say, you won't say that?
That word and vagina are the two worst words in the English language.
That one came out better than the other did.
I hate those words. And then she continues, I loved Kirk so much that I would have skied down Mount Everest in the nude with a carnation up my nose if he asked me to.
Okay, let's say what she says is true.
Okay.
He has to be chained up.
Yes.
It's still a crime because it's still you're forcing him. Even if you totally believe what she said, you know? It's still somebody, no means, I hate to say it, but no means no.
No, yeah, he can be chained up. Some people are into that. But the instant, they're like, hey, wait, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
Then anything after that is a crime.
Exactly, yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care if it's your husband or your wife or whoever.
Sure.
If you're right in the middle of it and your wife or husband says, hey, wait, I don't want to do this anymore, then
sure,
every second after that is an assault, you know?
And with so many things, not just that, just like, you know, I don't want Sonic tonight. Okay. I'm not forcing you.
Right. Like that's the most like intimate, personal act a human can have is sexual intercourse. And so the second someone does not want to do that, then anyway, I've just repeated myself 15 times.
It's fine. It's, you know, it's just like her defense isn't even a defense. It's like, well, he has to be chained up.
Right.
It's like, what? You won't read it in medical. Oh, the cure for that is chaining someone up. You know, it wouldn't even be in there.
No.
It's vile. It's stupid. It's just dumb.
Yeah. And it is. I mean, it's really dumb.
It really is. I mean, I can't think of anything better for it.
But yeah, who cares if he had to be chained up, right? The second it turns from woohoo to, oh, wait, stop.
Hey, guess what? Maybe it shouldn't happen. Maybe you should say, hey, I flew all the way from the States. See ya. Let's just hang out and watch a movie.
Yeah. Or I could chain you to the bed and we could have freaky sex for days and days, you know? Different strokes for different folks.
Say hello to my PI.
Yeah. He's going to escort you to this cottage. She never explained why she had a strong arm with her, right?
Yeah.
This PI, like, what was her explanation for that?
We have to have a third party that forces him to, or else he won't.
Why doesn't that make sense to you?
I'm just spewing logic over here, Your Honor.
It turns out at that time, there were no laws in the books about a woman assaulting a man in England. Like, it's so rare. Like, there wasn't even a law for it. They were like, what the hell are you talking about? It doesn't make sense. So as far as Kirk's rape accusation, there was literally not anything written anywhere stating it as a crime.
Wow.
So the only thing they could get Joyce with was kidnapping. As the case was set for trial, Joyce was granted bail as long as she stayed with her parents who had flown to England to support their daughter.
Turns out you can't kidnap a man.
Yeah. Thank God. What if there was like, nothing about kidnapping men either, just women. Looks like you're free to go. Men just up shit creek.
You have to go wherever somebody else tells you to.
Once Joyce was out of jail, she seemed to revel in her newfound fame. She gave interviews, which part of what we just heard a while ago, to every television station and newspaper outlet in town. She claimed to have grown up a simple poor country girl in Appalachia and insisted all the drama with Kirk was just a big old misunderstanding.
Okay, coal miner's daughter. We get it.
Undeterred, Joyce, who had reunited with Keith May, visited every newspaper and publisher's office in London, trying to sell her story. She promised to also expose the Mormon Church and even the Osmond family.
Oh, no.
She was smart to try to capitalize on her newfound notoriety. The avalanche of attention had made her a household name. And for a hot minute, Joyce was finally the celebrity she always wanted to be. She was showing up at swanky parties with actors and rock stars. Hell, there's a photo of her partying with Keith Moon from The Who. Talk about a match of crazy. Keith Moon was crazy.
Yeah.
They should have just dated. They should have just got together.
Yeah, that's crazy.
She even wrote a book about the entire affair, although I don't think it was ever published. The Daily Express paper bought her story for $40,000. And on Monday, May 22nd, 1978, they published the Joyce McKinney story under the front page headline that read, "My Undying Love." However, a whole series of events had occurred that Joyce had no knowledge of. In the 3 months that she had been incarcerated, many details about her past had emerged, with photos to boot. A former boyfriend from Los Angeles had exposed her secret past. Joyce McKinney had been making a comfortable living as a call girl and had been featured in several soft porn magazines. He handed over dozens of photos of Joyce, all of them nude and most with a naughty S&M theme.
That doesn't bode well for her case, does it?
It doesn't, no, because she said, I was just a simple farm girl. But if you go to incognito mode on your phone, and if you just type in Joyce McKinney nude, all these photos will appear. And I don't know that from experience. I just heard about that from somebody. Anyway. So anyway, on the same day, the Express ran Joyce's story.
I'm just eating my snowman.
Hey, you know what? He didn't hear about it from me or Ivan. So I don't know who else he's talking to.
No.
If he heard it from somebody. It must have been somebody he worked with.
Yeah.
Or at that point in the research, I was like, oh, there's nude photos of her? I wonder if there they are. Yep. Oh, there's like 17 of them. Okay. Hey, it's part of the research.
Research.
He's doing air quotes.
Joe is a sacrificial lamb. He's the whipping boy. If you've ever read that.
Oh, anyway, yeah, it was, look, I had to verify they existed, right? The Daily Mirror ran their own story on the same day that, the Express ran this kind of like, well, it was Joyce's version, her rosy
I
version.
bet they were so mad. So the other one didn't know about this. So the one...
Well, they ran, talk about two opposites, because the first one portrayed her as this rosy farm girl, and this was all just, and this one, it featured a nude photo on the front page of her, and it said, "The Real McKinney." That was the headline.
So the one paid $40,000 to do the rosy version.
Yes.
And the other one for free.
Yeah.
did the real one.
Yes.
Can you imagine how mad they would be?
And by the way, it was the front page of the paper. You can find it. It was nude. Like, her titties are out. And I'm like, did they just show that in England?
They do have different rules over there.
Okay.
So yeah, they can.
Okay. So the story began, quote, she called herself Little Miss Perfect, but there was another side of the runaway beauty queen, Joyce McKinney. As a sex hostess, she earned $25,000 in 18 months on America's shady vice circuit. That's what they wrote about her.
Man, I can't imagine how PO'd the other.
Oh, I know.
Golly, man.
That's way better than ours. It was free.
Why do they have a speech impediment?
I don't know. They weren't British. I don't know what happened. All the papers soon gave her many colorful names like Madam Mayhem, that is, and the Mormon Manacled Maniac, and the blonde sex chain culprit.
Oh, that last one didn't really flow very well.
No. The other ones were way better.
Yeah. Everything else is taken.
Yeah.
It's like Donna Mantis or something.
I know, it's the same thing.
That's how
All
we
the
got
good
the
names
name.
are taken.
Why'd you call it Donna Mantis? Well, because for 3 whole days, Ivan and I Googled every name
the
that came to
maniacal
her.
maniac was taken.
Yes. We were like, oh, this is a good one. Oh, it's taken. So like by day 3, after 77 different guesses, we're like, well, I guess Donna Mantis. That sounds cool. So Joyce had no intentions of remaining in England to stand trial. She and Keith devised a plan to escape. They somehow acquired full nun outfits and disguises, and the fake papers needed to exit the country. Just weeks after being released on bail, Joyce and Keith were back in the U.S. Oddly enough, once the British government discovered this, they refused to extradite Joyce back into the country to stand trial.
I think it's really tough to do.
Yeah.
I just don't think countries play nice most of the time, unless they have a reason to.
Yeah. And I think they were just sick of her anyway and just like, no, keep her.
I mean, it's like, this case ain't worth this, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, she's already destroyed if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing she is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, things don't go great for her.
I mean, well, because what's the alternative if they do keep her? Then they have to house her in their jail?
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, well, we're rid of her, so it doesn't matter.
Right. She ain't in our country.
Yeah, we ain't got to waste any more time on her. So.
More porridge for the other prisoner.
So, yeah, to Kirk's disappointment, they just let it go. Not long after arriving home, Joyce and Keith were arrested again, this time by American authorities, of course, for the illegal passports they had used to get into the country. But they only received a slap on the wrist. No time. Not long after, Joyce was back in the States. Her fame quickly fizzled. But her obsession with Kirk did not. In 1984, Kirk called police to report that his old stalker, Joyce McKinney, had been sitting in a car outside his work for several days in a row. Joyce was again arrested for stalking Kirk, who by that time was married and also a father. She'd been living in her car near Salt Lake International Airport where Kirk was working. A search of the vehicle uncovered road maps, rope, handcuffs, and notebooks detailing records of Kirk's daily routines.
Oh my goodness.
She had to be her own private investigator, sounds like.
Yeah. Isn't that freaking creepy?
Wow.
So Joyce insisted that she had just driven to the airport to book a flight.
Sure.
That's all I was doing. But it turned out she lived in North Carolina, so she had driven 2,000 miles to that airport to take a flight.
What year was this by then?
In the mid-'80s.
At least she didn't have the internet yet to
That's
get
true.
caught Googling how to kidnap
Brian Walsh.
Yeah. She would have been guilty of that.
I watched a thing one time about, it was like late 80s, early 90s before stalking victims ever really started getting, there had to be several, and there was a made-for-TV movie about this girl that was stalked, and she went to the cops about it multiple times, and they couldn't do anything, and then the guy actually ended up killing her. And then there was some landmark legislation, because that Congress and Senate, they don't do anything till after someone's brutally murdered.
Yeah.
That's when they really start working. But, it took a while. So back then, I'm sure it was pretty lax.
Yeah. I have 2 pieces of artwork.
Well,
Quote
sure.
unquote, in my garage that I bought. They were made by Robert Bardo, and he was obsessed with the actress Rebecca Schaefer back in the 80s, and he stalked her, and he eventually murdered her.
Yeah. I would imagine back then, especially since it's the male being stalked, I'm sure it was very hard to get something done.
Yeah. It's different. Yeah, people are like, what? Like a woman is stalking a man? But it happens. Trust me, it happens.
Yeah.
We know that for sure.
Yeah, I won't go into that, but it does happen. In 2008, Joyce apparently made the news again when she had paid $50,000 to have her dog, a pit bull named Booger, cloned in a South Korean laboratory. Did everyone get that?
You can read it again.
In 2008, Joyce apparently made the news again when she paid $50,000 to have her dog, a pit bull named Booger, cloned in a South Korean laboratory.
I just felt like it needed
How
another.
did she have that much? Okay, never mind.
Well, that's a great
There's
question.
no telling.
You know,
Like, why spend that much money and how do you have it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's two great questions.
Well, though she had gone by the name Vernon McKinney, remember that was her middle name, people soon realized that she was the infamous Joyce from the 1977 kidnapping scandal.
I asked that question because I'm like, how did she stay relevant enough from all that crap to have that much money to just throw at something? It just makes no sense.
I mean,
to
the
me.
story is so unique. I'm sure she could make some money just because it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Same reason why people listen to this episode. Crazy makes money somehow.
Right. If it bleeds, it leads. It's all just the drama
Yeah,
stuff.
for sure.
2 years later, Joyce was granted an interview for a film about her story titled Tabloid. She talked about the detaining and the kidnapping, as well as her work as a call girl and soft porn magazine model. However, in 2016, she sued the film's producer, alleging he had broken into her home and stolen the photos of her that she used in the film.
I retract my question. That's how she did it.
Yep, that's right.
Well, she also claimed this director threatened to kill her dog if she did not grant the interview and sign the release papers.
It's okay. She has a copy of it.
Well, the suit was dropped.
Oh,
no one believes this broad. In recent years, Joyce has been homeless, mainly residing in North Carolina. However, she ended up back in California at some point because in July 2019, the Los Angeles Police Department identified her as the person involved in a fatal hit and run that took the life of 91-year-old Gennady Bolotsky. The incident took place in the North Hollywood neighborhood of Valley Village on Monday, 16th of July, 2019 at around 5:40 a.m. Bolotsky was walking his dog at a crosswalk on Magnolia Boulevard and Wilkinson Avenue when he was struck by a white 2006 GMC truck. The incident was captured by surveillance video from a nearby business. Stills from this photo were released by the police, and locals identified the vehicle as belonging to a then unidentified homeless woman who had been the subject of frequent police reports.
Too bad she wasn't carless.
I know.
Because she sure was careless. No, I'm sorry.
Was Kirk still alive, and how close did he live to that vicinity?
Yeah, that's a great question. Who is she stalking there?
I think he has been in Utah the whole time.
Okay.
I believe. And I don't know who she was stalking then. On June 21st, 2019, investigators followed a lead that the suspected vehicle was parked in the city of Burbank, near the Burbank airport. Investigators located Joyce, who appeared to be living in the vehicle with 3 of her dogs. Maybe the clone dogs from South Korea. During the investigation, detectives learned that Joyce had outstanding warrants for battery and public nuisance. She was eventually charged with assault with a deadly weapon other than a firearm, hit and run with injury, and vehicular manslaughter.
Wow.
Yeah. However, she was then ordered to a psychiatric evaluation, and on July 11th, she was sent to the Los Angeles Court Division for mentally incompetent defendants. She was soon deemed not competent by a judge, and although several other court hearings have come and gone, it doesn't appear that any further action has taken place. As far as I can tell, Joyce, who is now 76, is still alive and residing in a mental health facility in Los Angeles.
Okay. Well, I thought you were going to say she was, not competent. And it's like, you can go. Like, if you're not competent, can she drive?
Right.
Obviously, she can't.
Take her keys.
Yeah.
Because it was a hit and run, right? Obviously, she just took off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the opening of the episode, we hit every point. I mean, it's a lot when you throw it all into like a minute. But that was all care of Joyce McKinney.
Wow.
As far as I know, like Kirk is a really, really quiet, off the radar type of guy. So it was really hard to find much information on him.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I did find that as of like 2021 or something, it's verified that he was still living in Utah and he's just a dad with 3 or 4 kids,
Well, I'll say this, I think it's pretty easy to tell who is telling the truth. Look at how they lived their lives after
That's
the
right.
fact.
Yeah.
Before and after, but
Yes.
especially after.
Yep. Whose life was even keel and normal and whose life
Right.
was chaos.
I think I could pick the liar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kirk.
Dun, dun, dun. What?
Well, it is Occam's razor. It's the most plausible is probably the right, and his is way more plausible than hers ever thought about being.
Yeah, I mean, part of her story is literally immaculate conception. She got pregnant by heavy petting. That's part of her story.
Yeah, and the whole thing like cloning your dog, why not have your dog like bred with another dog and have a puppy?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be way cheaper?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm no expert on.
I wouldn't want that puppy to end up how it probably had to end up with her.
Well, that's true.
Living in a car.
Down by the river.
There you go. I was about to say something like that.
Down by the Burbank Airport.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the convoluted, insane tale of Joyce McKinney.
Oh, man. That was everything you said it would be. And more.
Poor Kirk. I mean, really. We joked a lot, but good Lord, man. Poor Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, man, it's so crazy how obsessed with him she was.
Yeah. And I do think police, that's one thing. I think in recent years, they have gotten much better at handling and taking stalkers seriously.
Well, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of laws on the books now that where if this happens, you know, it does fit the definition of stalking.
Yeah, and even like sending people multiple emails and text messages and phone calls and making a bunch of fake profiles on Facebook and different social media to harass them and say terrible things. That's all traceable. That's called communications harassment. That shit ain't legal either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
That's a lot of what we dealt with. And like I said, all of it was documented. And anyway.
I'm just glad that common sense wins out in that case because you said that's true. I mean, that's, you know, it's not, well, they're just being whiny. It's like, no. You just want to live your life and be free.
Yeah, you should be able to live your life without being stalked. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, yeah, everyone should.
Yep. So there you go. As far as I know, the old crazy bitch is still alive and just kooky as hell somewhere, hopefully in a straitjacket in a padded room.
Well, I'll be nice. And like she needed help a long time ago. I mean, not to excuse anything that she's done, but I mean, maybe she's getting some help. I mean,
you're not going to play Joyce McKinney advocate?
Not really, but I'm just saying, like, obviously a long time ago, somebody needs to say, hey, she needs some help.
Yeah.
And then we wouldn't have a case.
I mean, Keith, that's somebody.
Yeah.
You know, it could have started with him.
Sure.
Yep.
How about I don't fly with you to England and chloroform this man and maybe we just stay here in the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you're right. I mean,
there
it's
are
like
plenty other fish in the U.S.
I'm sure within just a few minutes from talking to her, he could have been like, you know, that's not I'm just going to look for people that owe other people money. I don't want to do this type of thing.
Yeah.
I put him in the same class as Gene McFadden.
Yeah. Yep. Very good. Very good.
Huge enabler.
Yeah. Which, you know, as I was reminded the other day by a friend, Katie, she said, man, I've never heard you so mad. It's like, yeah, because the guy was evil, but then he made it so much easier for the guy just by being a shady lawyer, you know? So it's really his fault in a way.
Yeah.
And the same thing in this, I mean, this thing over the pond was this private investigator's fault in a way because he was supposed to be a rational, like, I own a business. I'm a professional private investigator. Like, oh, chloroform? Oh, no problem. I got you.
Yeah, you know what he should have done? Even if he'd went over there to help, in his mind, maybe, we're going to fly to England and I'll help her locate him. But as soon as she told him the plan of, hey, I want you to stick a gun in his ribs, I'm going to chloroform him, he should have been like, okay, just one moment. Stepped in the next room and made a call to the police.
Yeah.
And said, this woman is about to attack a man.
Yeah.
Yes.
And have her arrested. Anyway, that's not how it shook out, though, for poor Kirk. So
no.
Hopefully he recovered okay.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Poor guy. I'm just laughing. It's such a, wow, it's such a crazy.
I told you it was I think it's the wackiest case.
It really is wacky. I feel bad for the guy.
Yep. Well, that's it, y'all. That's the case of Joyce McKinney. So we hope y'all enjoyed that. 417-4MANIS. Give us a holler and tell us what you think about it.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We didn't say that at all.
Yeah.
So we will see you next week. Good night.
In the shadow of the pines they speak, whispers rising where the lost ones peak. Joe's got the facts to keep us informed about true crime, mystery, and so much more. Friday morning, the curtains torn. Truth and myth in the Ozark morn. It's a remedy for too much time on at your door. In the dark of the woods, the stories hide. Disappearances where secrets collide. Coats that chant beneath the moon's grin. A world of shadows where tales begin. Every corner a whispered name. Echoed cries.